Welcome back to Galicia, the land of the amazing sunset. And autumn is well and truly here, but the pigs are enjoying snuffling up acorns and chestnuts. But we still have a splash of colour in the grass as these crocuses are poking their heads through after we've had quite a bit of rain recently. And Emma's menagerie of pets is growing stronger every day. This week, the Free Rangers led a raiding party into Pepe's land. So sit back, relax and enjoy this week on Escape to El Campo.
So my outside garden has got the abandoned look. Don't judge. We had a problem with our water pump, which meant that it wasn't watered over the hottest part of the season, and pretty much everything either didn't grow in the first place or it died. But melons that love the heat and were getting a little bit of water, they did do really well, and I was quite surprised. I mean, they were tiny, but I mean they were still growing. The emphasis there is on the word were. Now, you've probably seen in previous videos that we have decided to let some of our chickens start free ranging, and apparently they've found my abandoned outside garden, and they really like melon. They really like melon. I mean, look at that one. It's completely decimated. And this one. What naughty little chickens. But you know, I think that next year, when the garden is properly watered and it's doing really well, I might, if we still got free range chickens, think about perhaps fencing it off. Look. There they are. They've come to see what else they can come and steal from the abandoned outdoor garden. It was you, wasn't it? Cheeky little monkeys. So we're back picking corn, and the key clean-up crew is on its way to help, which is good. There's always, oh, there's another one just there, here he comes. There's always a bit of leakage as you take the corns off the plants, or the cobs off the plants, I should say. And yeah, clean-up crew's here to prevent any unwanted plants from growing next year. Oh, there's another one. Can I see better this way? You're not going to find anything over there because I've not done that row yet. Aren't they funny little creatures? Where have you all been? Oh, I wonder where you've all been. Have you been helping yourselves to the leaves on the remolacha plants? Yeah, that's exactly what you've been doing. Cheeky chickens. So welcome to my other jungle. I think it's fair to say that this has done incredibly well this year, our polytunnel. It's just continued and continued to give, and it still is giving. So today, I mean, I've got quite a lot that I need to do in here. I've got tomato plants that have completely just gone feral, a bit like the cat that's meowing at me now. And so yeah, they all need trimming back. I've gone down now to just watering every 2 days in here now, and that's because I don't know when the weather is going to go bad when it's going to start getting cold, which it currently isn't really. And so I don't know when the tomato plants are going to stop being able to turn the tomatoes red. So I've heard that if you reduce how often you water them, it should kind of stress the plant out a little bit to turn them red quickly. If you can see this here spinning in the background, this is some seeds that I've got drying. So yeah, it's been a bit overcast these last couple of days. Today is a very, very good solar day, and as you know, we're on solar power at the minute in the house, so we have been being careful about what we've been using. But today's going to be a really good day, so I need to, as a priority, get off all of the red tomatoes or nearly red tomatoes and get them in the oven roasting. Now I've made 60-70 litres of passata so far. I couldn't even tell you how many pickles and things that I've made, and salsa. And I want to make some ketchup, and I also want to make some soups, but I haven't got any jars. They're being delivered next week. The amount that I've gone through is unreal. So I'm gonna get roasting all of the tomatoes. I'm gonna put them in the freezer until next week. Then I can come and tackle the monstrosity that I need to cut and what needs to come out and whatever, because I suppose in the next couple of weeks we'll start thinking about what's going to be in here over winter. No, I don't want to start thinking about what's going to be in here over winter. I'm going to enjoy what's in here for now. So yeah, start by getting all the red tomatoes off and then go from there. Ouch! What are you biting me for? I'm not wearing trousers, mate. Ow! Oh, okay. That's enough of that. I can't deal with that anymore. That hurts. I've got some sad news for you all, and it's going to be upsetting for you as it is for me. I'm fairly certain of that. But after kilos and kilos and kilos of production, I'm afraid that my cucumber plants finally stopped. How sad. I mean, I wish that I'd have weighed how many cucumbers have come off of these plants here. Although that would have been an impossible job, because at one point I was taking a crate, which is about, a crate is 25 kilograms of grapes. So I don't know how many kilograms that works out to be in cucumbers, let's say roughly similar. And I was taking maybe 1 or 2 of them off a week at one point. Now the pantry is literally full of pickles, and we've eaten so many that I think that we might have got a little bit sick of them. And the neighbours are taking so many that they definitely got sick of them. And now they've stopped. So should I be glad? I guess I am kind of glad, because it means now that I can get these plants out and my peas can go in. So that is my job now. I need to get these plants out. Also my melons, which I'll flip you around to show. So these are my melons, so they're not going to grow any bigger than this now. But these have been brilliant, and they are ripe. It doesn't look like very much. It's probably enough for 2 people, but they are ripe inside. They are very sweet inside, but these, it's not taking any more water now. So these can all come out as well. So my plan is to get all of these plants out. I mean, you can see it goes all the way along here. I'm going to keep this trellis in for the peas to grow up. All of these strings that the melons and the cucumbers were going up, they can all come out. I've got a load of compost that I want to put in on the ground. I'm going to dig all that in. I'm going to get rid of some of this grass weeds that's coming through, and whatever weed that is that's coming through. I think the nasturtium probably needs cutting back a bit. I think that's probably been the best thing in here, and that's self-seeded, that is, from last year. I haven't planted any flowers in here myself this year. Everything that's in here is all from self-seeded. But yeah, it's been a constant little hive of bees all summer. It's right next to the door, so it's encouraged them in. And yeah, it's just kept it going. I think that my issue with this now is that the aphids have had it, and I don't have enough. I don't have very many ladybugs here at all. I think that maybe there's a flower here. Look, I think maybe the cucumber could keep going, but it's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's coming out. We're making way for something new. Exciting. My phone cut out because of the heat, which was kind of unusual for the middle of October. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. Just got to get some compost in here, and then I've got a nice blank canvas now to get my peas in. Got all my strings down, got all the melons out as well. And I'm really pleased, actually. There was more melons than what I'd realised. So yeah, I've got all of these melons here. I mean, that's not a bad size, that one's not a bad size. These smaller ones, we'll cut them open and see what they're like inside. If they're no good, then they'll go to the chickens or the pigs, or maybe a bit of both. So yeah, I'm super pleased with that. It's exciting to start getting ready for my winter garden. So it's been a couple of days since I sorted out them cucumber melon plants in the polytunnel. And as you can see, I'm wearing a jumper. And whether you can tell from the weather behind me, but it's fair to say that summer has ended and autumn is very definitely here. The storm, it was crazy winds last night, to the point where actually it kept me awake, and it woke me up early hours of this morning with the wind. And I suddenly had this massive panic attack that I hadn't closed the polytunnel doors. Because it's been so warm, we've not needed to keep them closed, but with the wind and leaving it open, that's never a good mix. So, unfortunately, I have had some damage. This little catty, it's her first time in the rain. Not enjoyed it, it's fair to say. So at this end, it all seems to be fairly alright. Clearly there's a lot of harvesting that I need to do. And of the peppers as well. Shut up. The peppers also need harvesting. I'm going to fall over you, silly. Are you telling everybody that's watching what's happening as well? Yeah. Good. And then a bit further down here, we have some foliage. Now one of these had already come down where from solar damage the string had snapped, the string that I'd had holding them up. So one of these was already down and the rest of them have sort of come down in the wind. So that's a massive shame. There was also a couple that had blown down from the top where, I don't know whether it was just sort of balancing at the tops or whatever. But some of the ones near the entrance they'd also fell down at the top. So I was going to get my peas in today, and I think instead I need to do a bit of harvesting, and you need to actually sort out these tomato plants. There's plants in here that don't have any tomatoes on. These ones that have fell down, I need to either get them back up or do a bit of damage control. So yeah, that's my change of plan. Gotta love the Galician weather though, eh? That's why we're here. As you can see, this plant is now up. I've properly terminated it at the top, so it's definitely not going to carry on growing. And I've given it a right good trim down. And then the same was done with this one. This was the other one that was on the floor. Completely cleared it, got rid of all the dead weight, chopped it off at the top. And there was another one just here. And all the tomatoes were ripe, so it's just gone in basically. So there's the cat that's still shouting at me because it's raining outside. These are the tomatoes that I've taken off. Unfortunately there were some green ones, but I'm gonna try and ripen them, and if they don't ripen, shush, I'm talking, then I've seen there's some like green tomato chutneys that I could try, give that a go. And that is my compost pile so far. I'm not planning on going outside anytime soon. So I'm going to tackle the rest of these plants. All of these tops need coming off. All of the red tomatoes, as you can see, they're everywhere. They all need coming in. All of the leaves need dealing with. I'm going to do this now because, in fact, our washing line broke recently because of UV damage. So I'm guessing that, I mean, this is what I've just fixed this with. I mean, you can already see it's dead thin. So I've got a funny feeling, I've got a sneaky suspicion that a lot of these are going to be coming down as well soon if I don't start dealing with some of this weight. Plus it is time really for them to come in anyway. Anyway, I'm not going to film it because I think it's fairly boring. It's probably enough tomato talk for one day, for one video. I'll perhaps come back after I've done and give you a tour of how much tidier our polytunnel looks. How can you be angry at such a pretty face? Kiss kiss then. Yeah. Are you having that cuddle you've been shouting at me about? Yeah. Are you happy now? Maybe I'm not going to get anything done after all. We'll see. Oh, you're going? You're slipping? You're going? So this is what the polytunnel looks like after a bit of a brutal pruning. Necessary, and it surprised me actually how many plants have still got tomatoes on them. I've taken off any flowers that haven't actually produced any tomatoes as of yet because I think it's too late for them now. I just need to focus on what's left, which I think you can probably just about make out is still quite a lot. I need them to just turn red. I actually managed to get out of here 2 full baskets, very, very heavy baskets, full of ripe tomatoes, and then another crate that was almost full of red and green and yellow peppers. So yeah, pretty pleased. And actually the other end of the polytunnel still has got a bit of the abandoned look going on, but I need to focus on this end. I really need to get these peas in, so that's what I'm going to do now. I have got homemade compost. In fact, let me go show you. I hope you can hear me over the wind. So if you've watched the channel before, these are our 3 compost bays. and then I turned the 2 outer ones into this middle one. Earlier the year, I reckon it was in the spring, and it was completely full to the top, and it's dropped down. I have used some of it, but not a great deal. I mean, it's dropped down a ridiculous amount. So that's what I'm planning on now, where I want the peas going, to use this. We found this mesh in the barn, and we think that it's probably used to, what's the word I'm looking for, to sieve the compost, to get rid of all the lumpy bits, because there are, I mean, you're always going to get it with compost. It's always going to be a bit lumpy. I suppose if I'd let it rot down a bit longer, then it perhaps wouldn't be. I mean, underneath it's a bit more fine. But I don't know whether it's, the mesh on it is probably too fine for that to go through. So I'll probably just give it a bit of a sieve with the fork as I do it, and take out any of the big sticky bits and put them in the two sides. The plan is to then turn them two into the middle, but I'm not doing that today. Poco a poco.
Okay, so the rain's come, the pigs area's getting a bit muddy, so we're going to move them into this new area here. We've already enticed them up with some apples, and now we're going to move all their house and their water and their bowl. We'll give them some food to keep them occupied while we're doing that. So the deed's done, they're moved. The house is moved, the water's moved. Food's moved. Where are they? Pigs have moved. And talking of change, the weather's changed. It's proper Galician weather. It's lagging it down. Yeah, that's how wet it is. So we've got some
Just filled the house up with straw because we've got some colder weather coming, so they can make a nest in there. And yeah, I'm happier with them up here. It's much leveler ground. We don't want them tripping over and breaking their leg or anything silly at this late stage of the game. The pen behind me was on quite, I don't know if you could tell, it's on quite a steep hill. Well, this is much flatter up here. So yeah, happy days. Right, I'm going inside for a cup of tea and to get dry.